with respect to foreign portfolio investors, which seem to have pumped in as much as 43,000 crore and upward of that in Indian equities. What exactly is driving that momentum?
Well, obviously, a part of it is driven by the fact that we were discussing, just over the last few minutes. The growing strength of the macroeconomic fundamentals of India is actually driving a lot of companies, a lot of these investors to India. That's one. In fact, if you scan the world right now, tell me another country of comparable size. I mean, you don't pick up very small countries. Just a big enough market which offers this sort of macro fundamentals that India does right now. You will nowhere get another parallel. The largest economy in Europe has already slipped into recession. Right? It's officially in recession. The growth in the Eurozone is not going to be 1% under any circumstances, if at all there is a growth. The US is will end up perhaps even lower. And look at both of them. The US is still reeling under the debt ceiling, the effects of that debt ceiling. That's one. So if you are a foreign portfolio today, have a foreign portfolio sitting with billions of dollars, which country do you actually invest in? There are only a few economies only in Asia where you can come. And the best part of Indian market is the valuations over the last few months have come down, and so they really are sitting on pretty valuations also right now. So these two things taken together, I think will propel the FPIs to invest more and more in the Indian markets. Not only, look, over the last 3 months, I was checking out, the investments have risen. If you look at the net investments in the share market, in April, it was something around 6,000 or something crore. Sorry, in March, in April, it rose to around 11,000 crore. And in May, it rose further. So I think the momentum will continue. Just look at the investments over the first 2 days of June. I'm told, I just read somewhere, that it's more than 6,000 crores only in the first 2 days. Today, again, just look at the market is rising. So it's all about right now, it's both about fundamentals and also the sentiments. Okay. Both are working in favor of India. So I don't think the FPI stream will dry up anytime soon. That's my take.
All right, that's a very interesting take. Krishna, what we're looking at, and also Amit, what we're looking at this point in time, are very strong macroeconomic indicators. Our GDP is good, likely to grow at 7.2%. We're also looking at inflation being tamed well within RBI's tolerance limit, strong industrial output. And the numbers that are coming in also indicate, Krishna, to you first, that we are growing at a pace which is faster than expected even by IMF standards, and all of that leading to more money coming in because the markets are better, less volatile, our fundamentals are strong. So there is an increased sense of faith that foreign institutional investors are putting in India.
Right. There is no doubt about that. We're talking about the story where it's at a 9-month high, which means that the flows have been very good for the last 9 months, and it's only peaking at this stage. So I would say, if it was peaking at this stage, I'd say that, I'm going to go be the devil's advocate for a second over here, because some of the stuff that I've been hearing from analysts over here, some say that all of this means that FPIs are quote unquote, FPIs and foreign portfolio investors are quote unquote overweight on India and Indian stocks and Indian markets, because they've already priced in all the increase that's possible. They've already bought and built their positions. So the FPIs are currently overweight, as in like they've done and more than that they normally would do, simply because of all the things that our colleagues are telling us. So that is basically, you look at the economies around the world, literally every Western economy is on the brink of recession or in it already. So it's a difficult time. And also, even amongst emerging economies, you're not seeing the kind of resilience and growth that you're witnessing in India and the Indian stock markets, specifically speaking. The economy is a larger debate, Shweta, but as far as the Indian stock markets are concerned, they've had their falls, but they're going strong. You're talking about Sensex at 60K plus, 65K. I mean, this is the kind of market that we have over here, despite all the, despite COVID, despite all the, post-COVID economic issues, we're able to maintain the momentum as far as the Indian stock markets is concerned. And that is definitely instilling a lot of confidence in FPIs. But the question at this stage, I would ask as the devil's advocate, so to speak, is, are FPIs overweight on India already?
Okay, that's a good question. Amit, what are you making of these developments? You've been tracking, economy very, very closely, from inflation to banking system to all that is happening on the macro front. There seems to be a renewed interest in India.
Yeah. I'll take on from your phrase all-time high when you said the growth, 7.2. It was expected to be 6.9. A few people are saying that. So that is good. Apart from all these foreign investors look at indices. Look at PMI, Purchasing Managers Index. It was at an all-time high last August. It was at an all-time high in February. So those things are growing. So it is all good news. And India is one of the few countries that, to name a few, maybe it is Indonesia, Japan, who are basically doing well in these troubled times. And troubled times are basically increasing. You have El Nino on one side, whatever trouble it is causing, you have the war, you have debt ceiling in the
Absolutely.
US, their rates are not going to stop.
And Germany is slipping into recession, that being one.
All of that. And so the bright spot, and it is basically India is probably leading a new group of nations that are basically going to weather this sort of storm even in the times to come. So where do FPIs go where they have to put their money? India.
The safest haven right now, as if I may
and
take
the brightest spot.
And the brightest spot. If I may say so, I may be incorrect, but that is an interesting story.